everyone. Hello. This is the webinar number 30th of Awards of Happiness. And here I am so honored to have with us today Professor Nitin Arora from India. Professor, how are you?
Thank you, Mr. Pedro, for inviting, and I'm so happy to be here at your this wonderful webinar, Joy of Life and Business.
Fantastic. What time it's in India? First of all, my apologies because since I don't know if in India you guys changed the time or not, but in Europe and in United States we changed, so that's what's my fault of not taking into account about that. What's the time over there right now?
Right now it is 7:30 p.m. evening.
Fantastic. 7:30 p.m. evening. Here in Miami, it's 10 a.m. In Spain, it's
Okay.
4 p.m. So fantastic. Professor, tell us a little bit about your experience, about your professional record. Tell us a little bit, please.
So at right moment, I am a professor of happiness. I am the head of Center for Science of Happiness at MIT University, Uttar Pradesh, India. So this is a private university based in India, and I am heading this section for making the students, faculty, and the corporates. We do workshops and we have courses running for happiness right now, and I am currently heading that. But based on my previous one, I was, you can say, I have done my engineering, chemical. I have done my master's in business, and I have my PhD also in business. So with that small background, I'm like currently heading the happiness, and I'm teaching for almost, you can say, like 22 years. And I have been traveling in different countries.
Okay.
Just came back to India a few years back.
Fantastic. And you as a professor of happiness, the webinar, as we were naming, no, when we were talking before, we talked joy in life and in business, right?
Right,
And
right.
I can't wait to listen to you for you in India. How do you envision and how is the present of joy and life in business? How is it right now in India?
If I want to say the business is, you can say, one part of joy of life. Life is too big, but in that there are multiple elements involved. Business is one element. Yes, different government comes, different policies comes. Some government gives new policies which are like strengthening the economy. So right now the India is going very strong, and India is currently aiming to be the number 3 in GDP per capita, you can say, for the world. And soon it is, the government is trying very hard, and all the business people are supporting it. And there's one culture right now in India which is like the mind of the people. Initially the people who were looking for the jobs, so that was one kind of a mindset. But with this new government running for last 10 years, the mindset of the country has changed, and they are entering into an entrepreneurial mindset. So most people are currently entering into this mindset and trying to start up their own business. So there is a huge demand, or you can say huge number of founders growing in India. Many number of unicorns are happening in India.
Fantastic. I've heard, yes, in Spain, in Latin America, India, of course, that there are people who knows about India, but it's not the country that we know more about it. But what I've heard and what I've been reading is that India, yes, in 5, 10, 15 years, it's gonna become, I would even say, the number one country in the world, right?
We hope so. We hope so. And India doesn't aim for numbers, but India has a philosophy of Vasudev Kutumbakam. What does that mean? Is the whole world is our family. So number is a simple thing on data, but how you relate with the other partner, other country, that is also more important.
That's interesting. Then the people that goes to work. When I was talking and when I was traveling to China, I
Okay.
found out that they were only focused in business. Here, nobody's judging anybody. It's just describing. Of course, we all have our personal opinion. But when I went to China, I remembered that I was talking to many people, and for them, for instance, the word holidays for some of them or for lots of them didn't exist because they were working most of the time, right? How is in India? People, do you see the difference between generations, between, when they are elderly people, 50s generation, millennials, centennials? How is the difference?
So if I want to think in terms of my grandfather age, right, at my grandfather times, so they have to start from the scratch, because there was a time of when the India got, you can say, independence or something like that. There was a division of the country at that time. So most people in India were starting from the scratch at that time. So they have to be more focused on building up the family, building up the businesses, building up the society and all that. But currently most of the people in today's, you can say, my next generation, so they are basically having everything in their hand. And now they would be, you can say, one meaning is they are choosy little bit on what to do and what not to do. How to understand this is, if there is a work pressure for the grandfather age time, so they will never leave the company. But if something happens right now for this next generation, they will have no loyalty for the company, they will leave. This is one basic difference which has come up, because many things are settled down for the young generation. They don't have to worry about the house, nothing about the family marriages, and no sister problem, no brother problem in terms of money. But yes, they are now more focused on themselves.
Mhm. I think that it's a peculiar thing you are saying, because I find some kind of similarities of what's going on with with young
Right,
generations in
right.
Europe, are in America's continent, right? I mean, the word and the terminology of loyalty, the approach of I do not owe anything to a company. I'm giving my job, you give me money, bye bye. If you are not helping me into that, no. In regards to women and men, how is the quality in India, Professor? How do you feel, and do you see that the society is equalizing both genders?
Worldwide, if I want to first start with, the participation of women in the workforce was very less, but nowadays it is very much growing. Even if I say, even in the parliament of any government bodies, the top positions, 5 to 10% are represented as the CEOs in terms of women presence. But yes, we have to also understand the realities which are there, because there is a one thing called as a family matter. So in terms of family matter, there is always, yes, advantage, you can say one advantage, or you want to say, or you can say one, for the men, that they don't have to deliver the child. So if the men don't have to deliver the child, what that simply mean is they are 9 months ahead of the woman in terms of a career. Not just 9 months, maybe the next 5 years also. So that is, you can say, one plus for the man and one negative for the men. But if I want to think in a different perspective, yes, women are, there are many women who are choosing not to enter into the family. Currently the situation is this one: people are delaying the childhood or the family planning for many years. So many women are rising, many women are putting up this, you can say, choice. They are making this choice that I want to continue with my thing and I want to choose my things, and family is supportive.
Yeah, yes. So you feel that the younger generation, it's putting off the election of having a family, because they are
Yes.
focused more on their professional career.
So there was a time when the woman used to become the mother by 21 year of age, 22 year of age. Now that number or that age has gone to maybe 29, even 35. That is very normal.
Mhm.
It's very normal nowadays. The marriage age is getting delayed.
Mhm. In Spain, for instance, when the baby child is born, the law allows either one, father or mother, to choose 4 months of being with the child. And if the mother wants to choose those 4 months, she can do that. But if the father wants to choose those 4 months, he can also do that. Okay, not all of them.
Didn't understood. Sorry, didn't understood. What is the meaning?
Yes, when the child is born, okay, you have a family, father, mother, or mother and mother, or father and father, and the child is born, okay. The law allows 4 months to be with one of the couple to be with the child, okay.
Four moms.
4 months, yes, yes,
What
four,
does that mean? Four moms means
4 months of leave of absence. They are getting the money, but they don't go to work.
okay,
Yes,
okay.
in United
For
States,
that one child,
week.
for that one child.
Yes, for every child. Yes, yes, for one child. So if the mother wants to say, okay, I want to stay with my kid for 4 months, okay, at home, being with him, she can be with him, and of course,
Okay.
she's still getting the money. Okay, she's still getting
Yes,
the
paid.
money.
Okay, paid money. Okay, paid
Yeah, paid
leaves.
money. Yeah, but
Okay,
if the
okay.
father, but if the couple decides to if the father wants to stay at home for 4 months, he can also do that. It's not compulsory that the mother has to choose. It's also a selection for the father.
That's a wonderful thing. Yes, I have heard of many cases that we have also have a 6 month leave. Some are paid, some are unpaid.
Yeah.
But yes, for the men, it is more difficult. They are not perceived as a paternity leave is not much active. You can say in majority of the cases, but maternity leave is active in majority of the cases. Time may vary. Some
Mhm.
may have 2 months, some may have 1 month, some may have 6 months. So depending on the things. But yes, there is one possibility that if you want to join back after 1 year, they can join.
Yeah. Well, I think I remember it was 4 months. Maybe it has changed. And I know that in different countries in European Union, it's different. They give more months. In France, for instance, I think that it's up to 6 months, but I'm not certain. What I know is, as a concept, in Europe, they are allowing to give these months for the father or for the mother. Whereas in the United States, it's only 1 week. If you want to choose
In
not,
1 week,
yeah, yes, if you
one
want
week,
one
that's
week,
all.
only 1 week, yes. And if you want to have more weeks,
Okay.
you can have as many weeks as you want, but you are not paid. Of course, everybody has a different agreement with the companies, okay? I'm just talking about what the law allows and what the law doesn't allow. What about the burnout, Professor? How is the burnout in India? How do you feel the new generations, or the generation X, millennials, baby boomers? Do you see that the burnout is growing?
Uh, there is a concept which is called as yes man. So if I want to just elaborate this yes man, so if you want to save your job,
Hmm.
you will you will sit down on the chair for long because you are a yes man.
Okay,
You
yes,
will
man.
save yes man. But in case there are many startups, not you can say traditional firms which are like long lasting, but the new firms, they are having some kind of a policy that after 5 p.m nobody will give a call, nobody will give an email, nobody will send an email. But by large, most of the organizations, the work is happening even at night, 2 o'clock, 12 o'clock. If an email comes up, if something happens, so you are following up. But yes, the new age generation, they prefer this. Don't, this is my me time. So that me time concept is growing among the you can say the young generation or the millennials who are joining this workforce, who are just around 20s, 25 year of age right now. So they prefer this me time and the family time. But yes, the older ones, they are living still with that concept of, you can say, in the name of organizational growth, this is the price that somebody has to pay.
Yeah,
Otherwise
I
growth,
remember.
who is going to do that? Somebody has to
Yeah,
do that. And the
yeah.
work
I
comes to
remember.
only them, and the work comes only to them who are doing it.
Mm. I remember when I was 30 years old, so 20 years ago, that I have a friend who told me that the new generations, imagine 20 years ago, they didn't want to stay longer than 6, 7, 8 p.m. in the consulting world. Whereas, everybody knows that if you work in consulting, in auditing, or in banking, right? In M&A, all of these kind of industries, you have to work a lot, no? And to work till 10, 11 p.m. and then go out and have a whiskey and then go home and wake up at 6 a.m. and all of these crazy things that the Wall Street people taught us in the 80s that it was the normal thing to do. And I remember my friend telling me, these new generations, the millennials, not the centennials, the millennials, he was telling me these generations, they don't want to stay longer. They are rejecting our offer of our job offers, regardless it's 30, 40, 50% salary higher, but they say that they don't want to work longer hours because they prefer to have this me time that you were suggesting. And I remember that I told him, I think that it would be great if we would learn from these new generations. Maybe it's not that bad to have me time and to enjoy and to understand life in a different position. So I'm glad that your new generations also in India are changing this concept, right?
So if this new generation, if we remove the credit cards from their pockets, if we remove this lack of, you can say, home responsibilities from their, if I add on home responsibilities in their mind, they would do the same thing as Sentinels were doing, because they don't have to worry about getting the sister married or getting the home loans or nothing. They have everything, but the older one have to do a lot. So they will absorb a lot and they don't absorb. That is the only difference, because they have nothing in the mind to worry about. They have their preferences. I want this, I want that, something like that.
It's interesting because I say the same in different words. When you have your fixed cost, paid, then it's easier to do things in life, right? When you have
Yes.
the fixed cost paid, it's interesting. What about the leadership, Professor? How is the leadership evolving in India? What are the most important skills and features that the leaders are getting in India? What's your perspective into that?
Recently there was a debate going on which is going viral in India about the number of hours you have to put in every week. So somebody was saying 90 hours per week. Some leaders were saying that in today's tough time, 90 hours of week per week is required. Somebody debating 80 hours, somebody saying 70 hours. So there was a joke going on among different concepts also with the same idea, that if you want another leaders who are the millennials, you can say young generation people, they are saying, if you agree to work 90 hours which the leader suggests, then please don't get married. They are saying on that concept. So
Yeah.
there are many leaders who are focused on the time commitment they want from their employees. Give the time to me, because they are sailing a big ship. They want all the employees to like channelize their energy in the same speed, in the same time they want. So since the even I was listening to one you can say startup founders, so they said the relationship between the leader and the employee is the same as the between the investor and the founder, because investor is saying, before they invest, they ask you, are you going to get married, how many children you have, how many hours you are going to put in for the money and the business and all. So the founder says, I'm going to ask the same question to my future recruitment. So they say, if my investor is taking up my time, so I should also check on the time. So this is one concept of time. But yes, there are many other organizations who believe in long term commitment. So they are not just saying, okay, we need time, we need your values also, we need your principles also, we need your commitment. Even if you can get a work from home policy, a flexible policy, but yes, you can support the mission despite having the responsibility in the family. In the
Mhm.
corona times, I remember in the corona time, our university had given an option that many employees said, okay, we are from different part of India, we cannot come to here because my father ill, my father-in-law, my mother-in-law ill with corona, we have to attend to the family. So the university has given the freedom to those employees who want work from home policies, so they give that. And some organizations were firing their employees. But there are good organizations like our university, MIT University. We are so honored that we are in that university. They valued the issues each employee was facing,
Yeah.
case to case. They even raised, you can say, they gave them, you can say, they waived off the expenses of the students.
Yeah.
So if a student even in the first year or in the fourth year, whatever is the pending fees, and if they lost one of the members, say father or mother, they waived off all the 4 year fees, all the 3 year fees, they waived off.
Yeah.
So some leaders are very compassionate also, but
Yes.
some are very much time oriented. Time
Yeah.
I need.
It's interesting. Professor, in the last 10, 15 years, I would say that even after the COVID, it was more the concept of mindfulness, the concept of well-being, the concept of wellness in both in Europe and in US and in America, it's growing, right? This kind of mindfulness concept. From this part of the earth where we are, we have always seen India like a place where the spirit, the mindfulness, it's something that it's very in you, right? That it's something that it's in you. How is it this concept? How do you work, take on the concept of mindfulness, of wellness, of well-being?
So India is a land of seekers, not believers.
Mhm.
When I say the land of seeker, we consider whatever we are doing in this life, it is for achieving this highest goal. You can say, in one perspective, enlightenment. This was the oldest concept. This was the oldest concept. Can you believe? Recently, we had this Mahakumbh. You can say the most biggest spiritual gathering which happens after hundreds of years. So you can say India is 1 point, you can say 4 billion people. Imagine 1.4 billion, and if I say 70% of that, they were there in one small island. Can you believe that? And what was the idea behind that was that anybody who is going to take a dip in that holy water, you can say that holy water, they are going to get this freedom from various miseries, or you can say they are going to come close to the God. So this is the attraction India wide among even the young generation. And there was one funny observation that we observed in statistics, that 60% of them were young people.
Got it.
So when I say young people who have not seen much, but they also are pulled by this big attraction of spirituality. So mindfulness is the latest buzzword in the Western world, but in India we have the concept called moksha. And in moksha, you can say the enlightenment, how to be balancing your mind is most important. So even in center of happiness, we say very simply, happiness is four level: body happiness, mind happiness, intellect happiness, or you can say the energy happiness. Four. So this business is just a part of the mind, but mindfulness, if you want in your language, or if I want to say moksha in our language, are two different things. Mindfulness from Western perspective is you have to be in the moment. That is mindfulness. You don't have to think of the past, you don't have to think in the future. That is mindfulness. But in terms of a moksha, this is going, you can say, not standing in the moment, but drowning in the moment, or deep dive in the moment.
Uh-huh.
That is the only difference in terms of Indian perspective. So you have to commit, you have to be one with the moment, and you are into the moment.
And do you feel that this, in terms of the society where you live, that it's in India, this kind of moksha that you were saying, when you are working in a company, the leaders, the employees, the purpose of the company, do they include this concept into what they do? Or it's something that it's one thing is your personal life and another thing is how do we work in the company?
Yes. Most of the organizations which I have observed, even in our university, we are also we include into our beginning. Suppose when the students come for the first time, So that event is a ritual that we also organize for the students. So we have a Havan. Havan means a kind of a fire ceremony where we invoke the blessings of the god and the goddesses. So we believe in that. Our founder president believe in this, and then we inculcate on the very first day. And there are many organizations heads. The top like Tata organization, TCS is one of the organizations. So they go into deep religious events also, and they allow that you can follow your own things into your organizations also. Some policies, like if I say very simply, like in Christianity or other countries, we have a holiday on those days. In Muslim countries, we have a holidays on that days. So similarly, this is a part of a country in India also. If you want a holiday, there are by default holidays in these events, which are spiritual events, or you can say the religious events. This is one way of thinking. Other way is, uh, if I want to say that, uh, those who organizations which are not doing it, so somehow the feeling is that you are only for the money, you are only for the money.
Yeah.
But those who are going one step ahead, so they are able to you can say attract, or you can say enter into the heart of the employees far more deeper. Because at the end of the day, you want belongingness from the employees, you want the feeling of togetherness from the employees. So you
Yeah.
have to think what the large community wants. So most of the communities, most of the organizations, they prefer to include this element as a part of the system.
Very good. So that's another question. What about the purpose? Do you think that the employees are looking for an alignment between their own personal purpose and the company's purpose in India now?
When I say the purpose, recently there was a survey I have read. Most people are happy to get job security.
Job security.
Job security is one of the top happiness parameter. So burnout, job pressures, other personal alignments, they are not the top priority.
Got it.
So in that perspective, if I want to say, those surveys reveal that. And even if you are showcasing your personal things, I rarely see you can say Hindu which is the dominating culture in India, dominant religion in India. They are not showcasing their own you can say the dominance in terms of that I want to showcase I am a Hindu. They don't want to showcase the rituals, or you can say elements which are responsible, which indicate that you are a Hindu culture in any organization. So they live like a secular one, and they are happy with that. But some religions openly advocate that even in the workplace. So they
Interesting.
will ask for a leave, that sir, I have a event, I am from this religion, we want a leave. So
Yeah.
that is also there. But in some majority, they don't advocate that.
Yes. Professor, you as a professor and working in a university and being professor, I'm sure that you are already dealing for the last 2, 3 years with all of these artificial intelligence initiatives, right? That are changing lots of things. How are you feeling in this with these regards? Because I see it, well, it can be in a different ways, right? But I see in 2 points. No, the first one is like those who were trained for the last 10 years, maybe lots of the knowledge that they acquired, it's been obsolescence already, it's useless already, the knowledge that they got. And second, how do you envision, how do you see that what would you say, or what are you saying to the employees and to the leaders on how do they have to develop and to develop and to learn new skills and for the current context that we are going through right now?
I have been traveling in various countries. One thing that I discovered when I was away from the country was that Indians are known for few things specifically. Number one is cricket, number two is Bollywood, and number three is IT.
Okay.
So when AI is growing worldwide, so most of the Indians are happy because it is their forte. So the growth is happening in their strength. So this is one positive that Indians are taking off, because we are very comfortable with playing the mouse comfortable with the programming and all that. So this is one perspective. But second, yes, there is a threat in the mind of you can say on the YouTube messages and the WhatsApp, the jobs will go away. But somebody has to think critically that if the when there was the old technology which was coming up and people were thinking when IT when internet will come, many things will go off. The what we said, the dot com boom was planning. So people were thinking many companies, this business will come and jobs will go away. But no, this created new jobs. So the idea is of AI is little different. The low level jobs will go away. The low level jobs will go away for sure, because already many things are gone. But yes, many people have to upgrade, and it is easy for them to upgrade because this is very natural for Indians to go in the IT. Can you imagine in the class of 2, class of 3 in India, they are learning Python? Can you
Yeah.
imagine? They are getting into the hooks of the iPads and all that, and they are learning a little bit about programming, and on the very when they are just 10 year of age.
Wow. Yeah, my
So
nephews don't do Python. No, they are 8 years old. No, they don't.
so
They play
imagine in,
play Angry Birds maximum.
so this is one thing is a positive one, and second thing, the fear was a little baseless, that jobs will go away. Jobs will go away for the lower, which is already will go away, because one, from the perspective of happiness, I always see why AI is important. For one, realization that most of the employees or the most of the employers, they get dilemma because they have to handle the emotions of the employees.
Yeah.
Whenever any problem happens for the employee, they are stuck up with the reality and the emotion of the employee. But with the robot, with the algorithm, with the AI agents, there is no emotion involved.
Yeah.
So in critical areas, yes. I remember one example of Elon Musk. Elon Musk's secretary gave asked for a, I think, a 7 days leave. So Elon Musk's was secretary was too much most important. So Elon Musk said, "Okay, you can go, you can go." So after 7 days, when she came back, she was fired.
Oh,
So Elon Musk was asked, why did you allow her for the very first place? He said, I wanted to just check my AI. If my AI can replace her or no in 7 days, can I feel her absence in these 7 days? If I not feel her absence because of the work which AI cannot do, I will not have fired her. So employers are checking, okay, which role can be replaceable. Even the creative jobs, which people were thinking, okay, who will make a song, who will make a design, who will do that? The AI is doing it.
yeah.
So even logo designing, video making is all happening online. AI is happening.
Yeah.
So people are worried.
Yeah, another thing that I think that it's interesting is to think, and we are not going to find out any solution here, but we should also be careful of the leaders and the people who decides who hire or who do fire. Is that if everything is done by the AI and we don't have a lot of jobs, maybe we don't have money to spend in the services or in the products that the guys who have replaced humans for robots, right, are offering. So maybe this could be also an interesting way of thinking, because yes, we have to learn and we have to keep always training different skills, but we should also take into the consideration that if the robots are taking our jobs and only the robots work, and we are done when and population don't have lots of jobs, maybe we have other types of problems, right? Maybe we don't have that, but that's another discussion that I always
Maybe a new planet.
a new planet, a new planet with maybe different human breed also. That would also very helpful. Professor,
Right.
do you feel that in India there is a war for the talent? Companies are fighting to get the new talent, or because you have so many people very well trained, the companies do not feel that they have to war for the talent, do not have to fight for the talent?
Uh, there was a research which came which said that even though India and China are producing lakhs of talented people or talented pool, whether engineers and all that, out of that you can say hardly people are employable. People are employable. For example, if I say one example, that when Apple was asked why you are asking for a employees from China, why not from US or from other countries, like only why Asia? So the answer given was Apple was that he said if I want pipe engineers, if I want this engineer in US, I can hardly fill one classroom. But if I want to hire the same number of engineers in same capacity, I can fill the full football stadium in China. So it is, yes, more number of people are available, but how many are employable? That is a question. So that remains always a thing. War for talent remains, and there are many companies who are having an amazing policy. I heard of a few companies. I don't want to name them. Idea was they're a new company, and when they launched their own company, what they did, they put an advertisement. Anybody who would like to join our company and they are with our competitors, they can join, and we will give them 5 times the pay raise.
Wow.
So people were rushing. So big lines were happening because just switching one company and your salary goes 5 times.
Wow.
So yes, war for talent is happening, and there are amazing ways to, you can say, steal the talent like this publicly, or even by recommendation. It happens internally also. So there are various ways. War always remain, but depending is how much who is willing to go for the this kind of a challenge. Even this Elon Musk mentor, I'm sure you must be aware of. He has launched his company in AI, and he's willing to give 10 times the salary what you are getting. But he has given a punchline. He has given one punchline, and he says, "I want to hire the best talent, but he should not have no personal life." So what does
Well,
that mean? What does that mean? Same meaning. Okay, there is a requirement in a business, but if you have no personal life, I'll pay you. This simply means I want to make you work.
I think that there are people for everything, no? And if they find
Right.
people, I know, Professor, I know people who don't have personal life. For which reason, I don't know. I don't care either, But if I'm here, is nobody's here to judge what
Right.
other people do with their lives, and if they only want to work and make a lot of money and blah, congratulations. If they wanted to live this life like this, but I think, and I'm positive that as years come by, less people are like this, right? And people understands that, and the majority of people understand that life is not only about the job. And when you have to work, you have to work, you have to enjoy, you have to. One of the things that we learn here in Awards of Happiness is that people, they want to leave a footprint, right? Lots of people, they want to say, okay, what for? What for
What
am I?
for?
And it's true. I want money, and they want to go to home, go to home and enjoy their family, watch some Netflix. Okay, but when you have repeated that, it's like, and sometimes they go and they talk to themselves and they say like, why I'm here? What for? Right? What's the legacy? These kind of words that I think that are interesting when people, and I understand that when you are 22 years old, you are not thinking about the legacy. But maybe when you are 50 years old, you think, okay, why did I do all of this? To get some money and to buy a house, and it's okay, it's good. But
So
maybe there are people who think,
In India, we have a little funny way of expressing that when the money is on the mind, there's a statement. When the child starts saying to his father, "Uncle," it
okay,
means father has not shown his face to the son for long.
yeah,
He has forgotten the face of the father. When the
because the
child
father
is
of course
sleeping,
loves
father
him.
has gone. When the father
Yeah,
comes, child is sleeping. So at
yeah.
that time, what to do? This is war for talent going on. or you can say burnout at extreme level.
Yeah. Fantastic. Professor, would you like to tell us something for here, for Europe and for America that is going on right now in India, or why we should visit India now? I've never been to India. One day I would like to go.
You
What?
should come. You should come. You should come to India. It's a wonderful country, and if you would have come 15 years or 10 years back, you would have seen a stark contrast what has happened in India currently. So I hope you are aware about our, like you are aware of SpaceX, you are aware of NASA. So we are also proud of ISRO. So
Yeah.
we are the one who launched various satellites, or you can see the moon missions and the Mars missions and all that. And we are among the top three countries who has our specific space missions popular going on. We are doing very good in the, you can, solar missions. So we have the largest solar, you can say, powered cities are there. We have recently started our, not started, the announcement is going to happen for the hydrogen based car, you can say hydrogen based car. It has started up. In terms of education, there is a much more better policies have come up. Initially, if you would like to do a degree and you drop in between, so you have to start from scratch.
Yeah.
But nowadays we have a different policy. You can start and stop at any point of time, and you can carry forward. So you can get a certificate, a diploma, a honors, a research, something like this is happening.
It's
And in terms of the government, can you imagine in India, while you are traveling in a railway train, thing, if you message on a Twitter, if you message on a Twitter that my father is sick and I need food or medicine quickly, can you imagine the Minister of Railways? He replies and he ensures that the medicine comes by next station.
wow.
Can you imagine on Twitter?
Wow. Interesting. Very good.
And even in Corona times, you must have observed most countries, they have to show art, they have to carry one document, a physical document that they are Corona free,
Okay.
that they have done the testing, but they have a document in paper. But in India, all Indians have a mobile apps. So everything was digitized. And can you imagine in India that you can buy vegetables at a street vendor level, which
Mhm.
was not in the supermarkets? So you can pay via digital payments also. So people are stopping, people are using less of cash, people are using more of digital payments, very
Yeah.
high. That's
It's
happening fast.
it's interesting because India to me, and I think that well, when I go through the media, right, through the New York Times and the different newspapers, it's India. It's barely appears. It's always China. It's always Russia. Japan. It's sleeping for the last 30 years, unfortunately. But India, it's always like sometimes you hear that yes, that these guys have gone to the moon. It's like, well, how come did they go to the moon? No, and now they go to the Mars. Okay, what's going on? So I think that the India country, and I don't want to summarize 1.23 billion people, of course, no. But I think that, as you were saying, for the last 10 years, has been an improvement. And I would say that it's the government. I'm sure that the government has helped, but it's all because of the people, right, Professor? The people, the Indians, who say like, enough. We want to show to the
Yes.
world that we are there. But what I feel like, and maybe it's wrong because of my ignorance, is that you guys are doing your things on your own, and maybe you are not a lot of connected with the rest of the world. Can that be possible, or not?
Indians are everywhere. You name a
Oh, that's for
country
sure.
where
That's for
Indian
sure.
is not there.
That's for sure.
So connection simply means, you can say our Prime Minister was honored by almost many countries as the highest civilian award. He has got it. So our foreign ambassadors, our, you can say, our foreign ministers, foreign affair ministers, he has been in touch with almost all governments and everybody is responding. I hope you are aware that we have one International Yoga Day, which is approved or agreed by every country. I don't think there is any other policy or any other day which is agreed upon by every country.
Mhm.
So there are many things which are happening. Even for the food, we are celebrating the Millets Day. You can say that. So we are promoting the food, yoga, And yes, you can say India is connected to almost every other nation. Otherwise, it is impossible to have this big growth happening at India level. You can
That's
say now we are going to have underwater trains starting up. That's about
very
to
good.
start up.
Fantastic. Professor, it's been a pleasure and an honor to be talking to you, to learn from your experience. And thank you so much for your time. I'm sorry for the time frame that I got wrong between the time with this Miami,
That
with
is very
Spain,
normal. That is very normal.
with
That
India.
nothing to be say on that. And
And
thank you for hosting us. Thank you for
fantastic.
hosting me. And we would love to welcome you at our podcast also. And we would love to invite you and your worthy audience to join the podcast that I want to invite you. I invite you formally here, face to face to
Thank you
you.
so much.
I will send you an invite for the happiness podcast that we do at MIT University. And
Fantastic.
whenever possible, if you plan to make a visit to India, I would be happy to host you at Center of Happiness. Yesterday, we were having a podcast with the president of American University, APUS,
Hmm.
based in Virginia.
Okay.
So he was very happy to be at our happiness podcast. It happened yesterday only, same time. Same
Okay.
time yesterday I was hosting him on the happiness podcast. So I wish that you also come to our happiness podcast, and thank you for inviting, and would like to know more about this awards of happiness from you and how we can do something jointly on that. That would be a
Very
wonderful
good.
thing. Whatever I have heard about happiness awards is awesome. I had a previous discussion with you also on how you are interacting with the companies and encouraging them through awards of happiness, and your wonderful strategy of you can say how you nominate them, how you finalize statistically and everything. So wonderful process that you have.
Yes. To summarize, we give the voice to the people. Other
Yes,
types of recognitions so far they have been mixing the voice, no, mixing the voice between employees, HR departments, even outside judges, right? And we decided that no, that it's the people who have the voice. It's only the people. And that's why we founded the Dragons Awards of Happiness, and that's why we represent that the truth must be only on the employees. Of course that there has to
that's
be all
wonderful.
kinds of recognition for HR departments and for finance departments and for logistic departments and for marketing departments, but when it's about to listen to the people, I think that it's very clear and very straightforward that it's the who has the truth is the people, it's the employees. So that's basically what we do. We split it in 10 different categories, from culture, women empowerment, diversity and inclusion. And that's why we learn from how is the feeling of happiness in the organization. That's what
So
basically.
wonderful. So
Professor,
wonderful.
thank you so much for your time. Have a good day. Have a good night.
Thank you
Sorry.
so much. Thank you
And
so much, and have a wonderful day. And thank you to
fantastic.
the wonderful audience for watching it. Thank you so much. Look
Thank
forward
you
to
so
see you.
much. Thank you so much. And have a